Welcome to Side Notes. I'm here at Club Mingles here in Toronto with the Canadian country and western singer-songwriter Amy Rose. Amy, 5 years old, you started singing. There's a story behind that.
Yeah, my parents were they were diehard country fans, and I grew up listening to the likes of Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, and they didn't really know that I could sing. I would just kind of rance around the house, hemming and hawing. I really never sang for them. We were down at a Promenade Days, which is a local fair in Barrie, Ontario, where I'm from, and there was a singing competition going on, and I looked at my mom and my dad, and I said, I want to get up there and I want to sing. And they're like, no, honey, it's for people that are, entering to win a prize, and they gave me the whole spiel, and I was like, Mom, I know what I'm talking about. I want to get up there and I want to sing. And so anyway, they talked to the judges and they humored me, and I got up, and I was 5 years old, and I sang a Tammy Wynette song, Stand By Your Man. And I was too young to enter, but, I got up there and I sang it, and the rest is history.
So you're 13 years old when you released your first album, 16 when you released your second, and you actually did tours with Emerson Drive, and there's also Conway Twitty's daughters, Joni and Kathy. At that time when you're that age, what did it feel like, being in the presence of people that already made it?
You know what? I'm a huge fan of Conway Twitty, and I grew up listening to his music. So when I had the opportunity to go on tour with Joni and Kathy Twitty, I was ecstatic. Honestly, it was like a dream come true for me. And even though what I've accomplished now, still that is pretty high up on my list of things. Nothing I don't think will ever surpass that, unless it's the Grand Ole Opry. So it was definitely an experience, and I'm just thankful that I was given the opportunity.
And also, you actually mastered yodeling. I know if you take a look at the country and western scene, I remember stars like Hank Williams Sr., Hank Snow, and so on, who did yodeling way back when. It's something that you really don't hear modern stars doing. What actually inspired you to get involved doing that?
You know what? I grew up listening to Patsy Cline, and she incorporated that into a lot of her music, the yodeling as well as Patsy Montana. And, like I said, I grew up listening to that. And I remember looking at my parents, and I remember saying, I don't know what that is, but I want to do it. And, everybody had always said I had this twang to my voice, and it kind of came natural. So with the help of J.K. Golly, which is a local producer in Barrie, Ontario, and he's well known in Canada, we sat down with him, and he, helped me strive through the yodeling and the mastering of it. And I did it while I was 13 when I mastered it. So, and we continue to do it in our shows nowadays.
And you took some time off you have three young daughters.
I do. After my second album, we took a bit of a break. I wanted to raise a family, and I'd been in the industry so long, and there comes a time when you just need to take a breather and step back, and just do what you need to do, right? And for me, I had been working every day forward on this career, so it was time for me to step back and really take a look of what needed to be done. And in that time, I had three beautiful girls, and also in that time, I got to find the real Amy. I got to find the real artist that I wanted to be. And I was fortunate enough to meet my producers, which one of them's here with me tonight, Marty Beecroft, and Glenn Coulson, and we created the sound that the new Amy, the new what I was striving to be, and the type of artist I wanted to sound like, and that's what we did.
And actually, one of your singles you just released actually ties right back to the Backstreet Boys. How did you get that song?
Funny story. Every song has a story, and the background behind that one is a good friend of mine, Jessica, who's actually going to be here tonight. She is a huge Backstreet Boy fan, and she brought the song to me. It was put on one of their albums, I believe, as a filler. I don't even think it was one to be released. And she brought it to me, and she had said, I really think that you should do a country version of this. And at the time, I was on my hiatus. I was just in the process of having my last daughter, and I wasn't really looking to get back into the recording industry, so I took it. I just took it and I listened to it. It was a great song. I loved it. And I just kind of put it aside. And then, when it was time to come back out of my shell, I pulled the song out and I showed it to my producers. And I said, hey, what do you guys think of this song? And they loved it just as much as I did. And we went to Nashville and we recorded a country version of it. And it ended up being our first single and our first, chart-topping single. So.
And also, another single you just released was Redneck Reunion. Not only do I want to know how that song came about, but where you did the recording for the video.
The video was actually shot just outside of a small town just outside of Barrie called Essa Township. And it was a beautiful farm, great farm. And I didn't find the location, the director actually did. So, but it was, it was a fun day, fun video. It was a long day. It was like 13, 14 hours. It was very, very hot, but it was definitely an experience and, one that I'll remember forever. So.
And you're actually heading down to New York in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we are releasing a new single to U.S. radio on September the 30th, and people are already playing it now, and it's such a great song, and we want to continue the success of it, right? So we're going to New York. We're scheduled for 3 shows down there so far, and I'm co-hosting a radio show down there, and then we've got some radio interviews along the way to promote the single. So I'm super stoked about it. I'm excited. I love New York, and to go there and be able to sing and play is just it's a dream come true.
And also, how I became aware of who you are as a country and western singer, there's a CD that was put out, which actually for Canadian troops. So can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was a CD that we were actually approached by a gentleman who is, extremely well known in the military community, and he is so great. And he had come to us and he had said, I really like Party Like a Redneck, and I really want to add it to the CD. And we were kind of like, wow, that's great. And I didn't know where it was going from there. And then all of a sudden, it gets put on this CD, and it's thousands of copies are made, shipped out towards the military and the Army, and and I'm just so thankful that they thought of me and wanted to put me on their album.
And finally, can you share your website, not only your website, but where your actually music can be purchased online too?
Yeah, you can definitely check me out at www.amyrosemusic.com, and from there you'll find all of my links to my MySpace, my Twitter, my Reverb Nation, my Facebook. Everything that you do and do not want to know about me is up on that website.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.